Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all of the praises and the glory to the Most High and His Son, Yahweh Bashmi Shine, Ba'ashem Arakak Wadash, and double honors to the elder apostles of the great millstone that have taught us this truth, and including the elder bishops on down, Yahweh Bashmi Shine, Brakatham, overall to the elect whom this gospel is for. And it's your brother Laban. And I don't know what I'm going to entitle this video, but of course it's going to be centered around the topic. And what I want to get into is showing the power, what it's going to be when all hell breaks loose, this wisdom that we have, and how valuable it's going to make us. That's what I want to touch on today. And I want to first begin by reading Proverbs 8 and verse 10. Receive my instruction, and not silver and knowledge, rather than choice gold. For wisdom is better than rubies, and all the things that may be desired are not to be compared to it. Now, rubies have always been an expensive sort of jewelry, right? And it could be estimated, the most expensive gemstone, just going to get to the point, with a record price over 1 million per carat. So that's telling you something, that the valuability of the elect men of the Lord is going to shoot through the roof in a time of need, only simply because they had one simple thing: the wisdom and the understanding, which was their knowledge, stemming from what? The fear of the Lord. And this is why the scripture says, no wonder the scripture says in the book of Amos, the 8th chapter, there won't only just but be a famine of bread, but a famine of hearing the words of the Lord, and that they shall seek from sea to sea, but they shall not find. I'm roughly paraphrasing the scripture. And then it reads also, where it concerns women, that 7 women shall take hold of 1 man. Why is all of this going to happen? It's due to the wisdom. And that the wisdom of the Lord, which is the fearing of the Lord, is going to magnify his servants. And it's going to give glory unto him once again. Because see, right now, most people are just going about their day-to-day business. They see us on the street, and they don't really see the value of what we say to them. It doesn't bother them at all, in a good sense, to want to actually listen to it. Because the world that is around them and that they're in looks rich to them, and we look poor in it. So we don't have no kind of value as it looks. But the information that we have, when the world is going to be in need, that's when they're going to be in need of us. And you're going to see all of these people trying to find you, especially those that have saw your videos or saw you on the street. They're going to be looking to find you. And this is Ecclesiastes 9. And we'll begin by reading verse 13. This wisdom have I seen also under the sun, and it seemed great unto me, and there was a little city and a few men within it. And there came a great king against it, and besieged it, and built great bulwarks against it. Now there was founded a poor wise man, and he by his wisdom delivered the city, yet no man remembered that same poor man. Then said I, wisdom is better than strength. Nevertheless, the poor man's wisdom is despised, and his words are not heard. And the words of the wise man are heard in quiet more than the cry of him that ruleth among fools. And that's the absolute truth. You can get a guy that's rich, man, and people will listen to him, even though what he's saying is a bunch of nothing. There's no substance to what he's saying, but people are going to listen to him because he looks like you should listen to him. He looks like a valuable guy. He's rich, of course, right? But with a poor man, no one's listening. But you see, that's a stumbling block onto most people. So when they see us, they don't want to check what we're saying, because it's like we're just like them. And it's a way of what? Leading astray the people that should listen to us to not receive this truth. So that's basically a stumbling block right there. Us looking poor and being poor as well as they are is a stumbling block. Because the Lord don't want everybody to get this thing just to include. But like I said, let this world crumble apart and you'll start to see all of the attention and the glory that men are looking for right here, right now. And you see with wisdom and understanding, right? Inventions come about. Changes are made to save people's lives. As well as I just read to you over here, how this poor wise man saved the city, right? In another case you have with Joseph. Joseph was the only man in the place of Egypt that he was in that could save the city with corn. Why? Because the Spirit of the Most High was with him and installed him the wisdom and understanding to take care of the people that was at this time with the corn. All right. So what I want to do is I want to go up and read, and I want to get as close to the point as possible. So let's begin by reading Genesis 41 and verse 7. Verse 8. And it came to pass in the morning that his spirit was troubled, and he sent and called for all the magicians of Egypt and all of the wise men thereof. And Pharaoh told them his dream, but there was none that could interpret them unto the Pharaoh. And then spake the chief butler unto Pharaoh, saying, I do remember my fault this day. Pharaoh was wroth with his servants, and put me in ward in the captain of the guard's house, both me and the chief baker. And we dreamed the dream in one night, and we dreamed each man according to the interpretation of his dream. And there was there us a young man, an Hebrew servant, to the captain of the guard, and we told him, and he interpreted to us our dreams, to each man according to his dream, and he did interpret. And it came to pass as he interpreted to us, so it was. Me he restored unto mine office, and him he hanged. Joseph's interpret. The Pharaoh sent and called Joseph, and they brought him hastily out of the dungeon. And he shaved himself, changed his raiment, and came in unto Pharaoh. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, I have dreamed a dream, and there is none that can interpret it. And I have heard say of thee, that thou canst understand a dream to interpret. And Joseph answered Pharaoh, saying, It is not in me. The Most High shall give Pharaoh an answer of peace. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, in my dream, behold, I stood upon the bank of the river. And now we're getting closer to the point. And behold, there came up out of the river 7 kinds of fat-fleshed and well-favored, and they fed in the meadow. And behold, 7 other kind came up after them, poor and very ill-favored and lean-fleshed, such as I never saw in all of the land of Egypt for badness. I tell you what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump all the way down, because this is a whole lot right here. I just want to get to the point closer as much as possible to it. We'll begin by reading verse 24. Verse 24. And the thin ears devoured the 7 good ears, and I told this unto the magicians, but there was none that could declare it to me. And Joseph said unto Pharaoh, the dream of Pharaoh is one. The Most High showed Pharaoh what he is about to do. The 7 good kinds are 7 years, and 7 good ears are 7 years. The dream is one. And the 7 thin and ill-favored kind that came up after them are 7 years, and 7 empty ears, and blasted the east wind shall be 7 years of famine. And this is the thing which I have spoken unto Pharaoh, what the Most High is about to do, he showed unto Pharaoh. And behold, there come 7 years of great plenty throughout all of the land of Egypt, and there shall arise after them 7 years of famine, and all of the plenty shall be forgotten in the land of Egypt, and the famine shall consume the land. And the plenty shall not be known in the land by reason of that famine following, for it shall be very grievous. All right, so when you go all the way down, there's another point that I want to read into as well. As this reads in verse 38 to verse 40. yeah, verse 38 to verse, I think it's 40, man. Yeah, so as this reads, and the Pharaoh said unto his servants, this is the point. Can we find such a one as this is, a man in whom the Spirit of the Most High is? And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, for as much as the Most High showed thee all this, there is none so discreet and wise as thou art. And thou shalt be over my house, and according unto thy word shall all my people be ruled. Only in the throne will I be greater than thou. So, for one, Joseph had the ability to, the Hebrews that were there, that were the gods, were able to interpret the vision. So they had the wisdom to do that, and he also had the wisdom, or he had the wisdom singular. In this case, Joseph, he had the wisdom to what? Save the city from the famine. Okay? Because the Spirit of the Most High was with him, as Pharaoh even said. Let's read it again in verse 38. Pharaoh said unto his servant, can we find such one as this is, a man in whom the Spirit of the Most High is? So this is the Pharaoh talking. So again, going back to what I was saying before, when the world is going to be in need, and I'm talking about the 2/3 of our people in this case, right? Especially the ones that knew your videos, that saw you on the street, even the women that saw your video, saw you on the street, right? And even the women that don't know you. All of these people are going to be gunning for you. If the Pharaoh was in need of a man such as Joseph, how much more regular people that have saw you, as it is written in the book of Amos, the 8th chapter, that they shall seek the word of the Lord from sea to sea. Another case in point, Daniel's chapter 2. And we'll begin by reading Daniel's 2 in verse 16. Then Daniel went in and desired of the king that he would give him time and that he would show the king the interpretation. Then Daniel went to his house and made the thing known unto Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah his companions, that they would desire mercy of the Most High of heaven concerning this secret, that Daniel and his fellows should not perish with the rest of the wise men of Babylon. Then was the secret revealed unto Daniel in a night vision. Then Daniel blessed the Most High of heaven. Daniel answered and said, blessed be the name of the Most High forever and ever, for wisdom and might are his. And he changeth the times and seasons, and he removeth kings and setteth up kings, and he giveth wisdom unto the wise and knowledge to them that know understanding. He revealeth the deep and secret things, and he knoweth what is in the darkness, and the light dwelleth with him. Just like, for example, going back to the book of Genesis 41 with Joseph. Joseph and the Hebrews were able to interpret the vision because the Lord was with them, giving them the wisdom. Okay? So Daniel's received the ability to interpret because he had the wisdom and skill. He was told by the Most High what this represented, and that was his wisdom. All right? And so even Daniel was even praised, just like Joseph was praised by the Pharaoh. So now I'm going to continue to read on. I'm going to go all the way down to verse. I don't have to read anymore because I do remember the story. I do remember the story of this as well. And just to mention as well, even the Magi's at the time of Joseph, they couldn't even interpret the vision of what was going to be had for Egypt. 7 years of famine, 7 good years, and the 7 bad years, which would be the 7 years of famine. They couldn't break it down. And so the same thing as we fast forward to the time of Daniel's, you had the Magi's and those that specialize on the left-hand side of things. They couldn't interpret the vision that Nebuchadnezzar had, but only Daniel could interpret it. Why? Because the same power that was with Joseph and the Hebrews that were at the time was with Daniel. Okay? Again, giving that same power, the creator of the heavens and earth, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the glory and the praise that he deserves. Speaking of praise, let's read this. For praise shall be uttered in wisdom, and the Lord will prosper it. See? So men were praised because of the wisdom and the understanding of the Most High. And I've just read 2 cases of that. So how much more when we fear the Lord? How much more will the Lord praise us? All right. If we praise him, the Lord will praise us in the very end. Okay. So now what I want to do is I want to go and read Isaiah 33 and verse 6. And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and strength of salvation. Check this out. The fear of the Lord is his treasure. So that is going to be the wisdom that we're going to bear, which is going to keep us in stability. Now, if you look up that word stability, it means to be steadfastness, firmness, fidelity, which goes back to the word faith, which really the word there should be faith, because the Hebrew word is amawan. All right. But that's going to be our stability anyway. Our faith in the believing in the knowledge of the Most High. All right. Which comes from the fearing of the Lord, which is going to be our treasure, which is going to trump us above in value of everything that was considered valuable or desirable to the heart among men. All right. Yes, I've already went into that. And as this also reads, Sirach 40 and verse 26, riches and strength lift up the heart, but the fear of the Lord is above them both. Come on now. And there is no want in the fear of the Lord, and it needeth not to seek help. So in the time of need, we're not going to be in no need of help. All right. Again, going back to Isaiah 33 and 6. And now we must read Job 5. That's why this reads over here in the book of Job 5. And verse 15, we'll begin by reading there. But he saveth the poor from the sword, and from their mouth, and from the hand of the mighty. And so the poor have hope, and iniquity stoppeth her mouth. Behold, happy is the man whom the Most High correcteth. Therefore despise not thou the chastening of the Lord. And the Lord knows what he's doing with us when he chastises us. As well as it's written that a man that which is sorrowful. Matter of fact, let me go and read it, man, because I thought I remembered it. Let me go and read it, because I'm going to butcher it. Right, as it is written over here. Ecclesiastes 7 and 3. Sorrow is better than laughter, for the sadness of the countenance, the heart is made better. And so the Lord is making us better to be more of his image. So now let's go back. In verse 19, we will read, he shall deliver thee in 6 troubles, yea, in 7 there shall no evils touch thee. In famine he shall redeem thee from death, and in war from the power of the sword. And thou shalt be hid from the scourge of the tongue, and neither thou shalt be afraid of destruction when it cometh. At destruction and famine thou shalt laugh, and neither shalt thou be afraid of the beasts of the earth. So there you go. So with this wisdom that we have, we're not going to be in need, right? In the time of need, when there's Jacob's trouble happening all around. And by this wisdom, we're going to be preserved from the evils. Now, the ones of us who will die in this truth, but even yet still, we're still going to be delivered from the evils that are going to be round about us and among the people. All right. So the elect are going to experience this, the valuability of what we have and what we know. Again, let's read this again. Riches and strength lifteth up the heart, but the fear of the Lord is above them both. And there is no one in the fear of the Lord, and it needeth not to seek help. Verse 27, the fear of the Lord is a fruitful garden, and covereth him above all glory. Let's read that one more time. The fear of the Lord is a fruitful garden, and it covereth him above all glory. And that's why Solomon himself was the wisest above all people, and he was the most beautiful looking above all people because he had the simple thing. What made him that way was the simple thing, and it was the wisdom that was given him. He had the greatest kind of wisdom, the same wisdom that we have. He had it, and he was able to put it into action because of all of the dirt that King David did. All right? And what it showed is that his wisdom was above all wisdom that men had. All right? So again, I say, we're going to experience this in a negative sense and also in a positive sense. How powerful this wisdom and this understanding and how valuable it's going to be when this world is no more. And even the people are going to see it upon us as well. My son, that's something else. We don't need to go there. That's the point. So now, let's even read this as well. Psalms 37:27, depart from evil and do good and dwell forevermore. For the Lord loveth judgment and forsaketh not his saints, and they are preserved forever. But the seed of the wicked shall be cut off, and the righteous shall inherit the land and dwell therein forever. In the mouth of the righteous speaketh wisdom, and his tongue talketh of judgment. And the laws of the Most High is in his heart, and none of his steps shall slide. Again, we're not going to be in no need because of this wisdom and this understanding over here. All right, let's read it again. Riches and strength lift up the heart. Riches and strength lift up the heart, but the fear of the Lord is above them both, and there is no want in the fear of the Lord, and it needeth not to seek help. So that's what you call being preserved from danger. Salvation is what it really is. All right, which means preservation from danger. And this is how the Most High is going to make a man more precious than the fine gold, as this reads, based on the kind of wisdom we're going to have. Isaiah 13 and verse 12. I will make a man more precious than fine gold, and even a man than the golden wedge of Ophir. So now I must go back and read Proverbs 8. And let's begin by reading verse 11. For wisdom is better than rubies, and all of the things that may be desired are not to be compared to it. So again, as I'm going to say, this is how the Most High is going to make the righteous men more precious than fine gold. Okay? Because they're going to bear the wisdom of fearing the Lord, which is above riches and strength, which is above them both. This is why you're going to have women flocking to you in a time of great need when this world has crumbled apart and has reached to zero. All right? Women right now like to complain about men being polygamous or getting from one woman to the next woman, but they're not going to give a shit. When the world is at zero, like I've said, which these women, they love the world. What else is going to protect and defend them when it's all said and done? Because women can't stand by themselves naturally, right? They can stand by themselves now because the world is helping them out. And the world has all of these luxuries for them, and they have the freedoms and the rights that this world has given them. But I'm talking about when there's great evils around the world, which will come in the ending of this civilization. And they're going to have to need some sort of a man to stand by to keep them in good state of being, mentally, emotionally. Okay? So this could very well be maybe a man may be seen by, let's just say, 50 women. And they see that one guy and he looks calm, cool, and collected. He ain't worrying about nothing, even though there's a whole lot of melee going on. But he's not being triggered at all like everybody else is. They're going to go seek and want to go deal with this guy. They're not going to care about, oh, this is polygamy, or he's cheating on me, and all of this cockamamie bullshit, right? They ain't going to be concerned about that. Their thing is look, this man can take care of us. This man knows something. So I'm rocking with this guy over here. All right? And this ain't going to be in the kingdom. This is going to be in the time of Jacob's trouble, when shit's hitting the fan. Isaiah 4:1, in that day 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our bread and wear our own apparel, and let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach. Because they're going to see the valuability in you, because the wisdom that you have. So no longer are you going to be valued as what house you live in, what car you drive, what job that you have, how you look. Actually, a man is supposed to be judged based on these two things: his wisdom and his character. And then all of the rest follows suit. But in this society, you're judged as a man based on the things you do have, and then last and but not least, what you know later. So that's what's going to be brought back on the planet Earth, is that the valuability of a man is going to be based on his wisdom and his understanding. Even when you go read further into the Old Testament, it tells you that if you had a daughter, you would give your daughters to men of wisdom and understanding. So I think I've said my piece on this over here. I want to give all of the praises. And I'm going to be speaking about this topic as well later on, Lord willing. See what happens. Yeah, so that's all I got to say, man. With that, I want to close, and I say shalom.